Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm sorry for not doing a video in a while. I've been busy and been trying to figure out what the next topic was to talk about. Okay, so there are so many people that look down on our community. Yeah, there's a lot of people that look down on gays and lesbians and think it's a choice and not right and all that stuff that I kind of talked about before. But also, we're just normal people. Whether you're gay, lesbian, whatever. Yeah, people put labels on us. Yeah, my label is lesbian. But that's kind of just a label. So yeah, I been watching a couple documentaries on different things in our community, different people of our community. And just got done watching this one about gender identification, basically, on Disney Plus. Is with you can check it out if you want to. But it's really cool and got me more educated on what that meant for some young kids, teenagers, older adults. I can't imagine. You know, there's a lot of trans people out there, in our community, you know, and just in general. I mean, trans people have it a lot harder than gays and lesbians do. Like, our side of the community has been has grown a lot more than the trans side of it because it's kind of newer. I mean, people are still coming to terms with that side of our community. Yeah, I mean, some people are still addressing the gays and lesbians and bis and things, but not as much as the trans side. Transgenders get a lot more hate than we do, in my opinion. A lot more hate than we do. I mean, it's kind of different. Yeah, we get hated on all the time. People don't understand why we are who we are, but it's harder for people to understand the trans side of our community because they don't get it. You can't understand something that you're not, and it's harder to understand something that you're not. But there are so many documentaries, YouTube videos, books out there on the internet or on streaming apps that you can educate yourself with on our whole community. Not, I mean, our whole community, gays, lesbians, transgenders. I mean, I've never had to go through it because, of course, I'm a female and I'm a lesbian. But I will say that I I don't know for sure, but I don't think I grew up around anybody that was transgender. If I did, they were really good at hiding it. Because trans don't feel like they can be themselves. It's hard for me or any other but any other person in our community. It's hard for our whole community basically to be their selves, to be their authentic true selves. It takes a while for us to get to that point. It really does. And a lot of places, I mean, there's a lot of places that don't accept us, as well as others. And it's just frustrating. Basically, it's frustrating for our whole community. I mean, like I said earlier in one of my videos, I grew up in a place that is very close minded, very religious, I mean, totally against our whole community. Totally against. And it's easy for us to just hide ourselves and just say, I can't be my authentic self here because I know too many people. There's gonna be so many people that are just going to disown me or not like me anymore or whatever. But then I just got to the point that I didn't give a crap, you know? I was just like, you don't like me? Fine. You know? I don't care. If you unfriend me on social media or stop following me on YouTube or Instagram or like anything, any platform, so be it. I'm not changing because you want me to or you think I should. We should be allowed to be ourselves just like straight people. People shouldn't look at us any different than they look at straight people. I mean, the only difference between us and straight people, between like gays and lesbians and straight people, is that we love differently. We love differently. The only difference, I mean, is that hey guys is like other guys, lesbians is like other girls, of course, you know? But we're still the same person. Just because we figure out that we're not straight does not mean that we change. And it, I mean, of what I've seen, I mean, on the trans side, they're not really different. They're just happier in their own skin. They're happier in the skin that they know they need to be in. They're the same person, they're just being more in their authentic selves. That's basically it. Basically it. And they, I mean, get so much hate because of like the whole bathroom thing, all that lovely issue. I mean, they're still fighting to be who they are supposed to be. Our whole community's still fighting, but we just have it a little easier than the trans side because we've come a long ways. We've done most of the fighting to be like accepted, but still there's still parents, still families, still people disowning our community. And it's so unbelievably frustrating for me. And I don't know how much. I mean, yeah, I've said this over in other videos too, but it's true. I mean, it's so stupid that parents kick their kids out because they're not straight. They kick their kids out because they're different. They basically just disown their kids. There's so many teens, so many young kids that are really scared to come out to their parents. Then they come out to their parents. And they don't know what they're going to do, you know? It's hard to know what to expect. It was hard to know what to expect when I came out to mine. But seriously, guys, I mean, there's so many parents that, I mean, kick their kids out after they come out. They basically kick them out on the street just because they're gay, lesbian, or trans. And it's just not cool. Absolutely not cool. I don't understand it. Just because you don't agree with it, they're still your kid. It may take you a while to come to terms with it. You may be shocked at first. It's not easy. It's not easy for you. It's not easy for them. It's more hard for them to get the guts, get the courage to say that they're gay, lesbian, or trans. Or bi. Sorry, I kind of left out bi. But, I mean, and there's some that don't put a label on it, you know? And I am so sick of hearing that it's a choice. Like I said in an earlier video, it's not a choice. And how many times can we all stress that? Seriously. I'm so sick of hearing the whole religious side of it, you know, like the whole. I mean, people throw scriptures at us. People throw, well, not physically throw Bibles at us, or, you know, but like they throw the scriptures, like, or try to hand us the Bible and be like, it says in so and so verse that this isn't right, that you're not born that way, that God doesn't agree with that. He doesn't make you gay or lesbian. He didn't put you in this world to be with another man or be with another woman. I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. I mean, I basically said this in one of my other videos, but I don't think I went in the detail. I mean, I kinda told my coming out story in a general sense, basically, in my first video, the how I figured out I was a lesbian video, or the next video that I think was a coming out video. But so yeah. But basically I'm the well, I have a sister that's a lesbian, and I have a sister-in-law. She's married, so I have a sister-in-law. But and so her and I are the only lesbians in our family, and excuse me, and she lives in Oklahoma. She's not around our dad. She's my half sister, so yeah, we have the same dad. But she's not around my dad or family that much, you know? She doesn't live here. In other words, I still live with my parents as of now. I mean, I don't really want to, but that's a whole nother story. And since I still live with them, it's even harder. My mom, when I told her, oh lordy, when I told my mom, she basically threw the Bible at me. Basically threw scripture at me. She was shocked. She was shocked, you know. She was like, she basically just told me to read like certain verses in the Bible that say that God's against it, that it's a sin, that it's wrong. You go to hell because it's a sin. And I them, you know, but there's also scripture that says he's not against it. You don't go to hell because you love differently. And then I got the whole it's all in the world. The world influenced you to be that way. And my mom basically came out with the whole it's a choice. You know, when I came out, I was bawling my eyes out to my mom. Literally crying when I told her I was a lesbian. And she's like, "Why are you crying? Are you ashamed?" I'm like, "No. It's just not an easy thing to tell your parents, you know?" And and then later she came up to me, like, I just left it at that. I didn't bring it up again. Later, she came up to me and she was just like, "Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean we can't talk about it." And I was like, "Okay." And then she's like, I mean, mm, I don't really, I mean, she says she accepts me and everything, but there's a gray area there, you know? Your parents can say they accept you, but it's hard to know what they really do, or if they're just saying it because they know that's what you want them to say or want them to hear, or that's what you want to hear, want them, you know. I mean, or they could just be going along with it, you know? They don't really understand it, but they're just saying they accept you, so maybe you can talk about it more, you know? I mean, my mom was a little easier than my dad, but my dad's a whole nother story. But yeah, um, I'm just grateful my parents didn't kick me out of the house or disown me because of it. But um, I mean, I do go to a church that is totally against it, totally against our community. They go by the Bible and everything. I mean, yeah, there's way worse things. I mean, I physically don't believe that you go to hell because you're not straight. I mean, that's just ridiculous in my opinion. I mean, we all have our opinions, but I mean, there's no way, you know? I mean, yeah, what? God's just gonna kick you out of heaven because cause you love the same sex? I mean I mean, you can be gay and be a Christian. I mean, I've heard it all. You can't be gay and be a Christian. That's not how it works. Yeah, okay. Well, that's your opinion. I mean, there's just so many that are so against us, you know? I mean, we hear it all. You know, all this negativity. There's more negativity towards our community, our whole community, than there is positivity. And it's annoying. Just completely flat out annoying to all of us. I mean, there are worse things. I mean, there are so many trans that get fired because they're trans. Or companies don't even hire them. Or they are living on the streets. I mean, there's gays and lesbians and bis and our whole community, there are a lot of homeless people in our community. I mean, look up the stats. It's quite a bit. It's like horrifying. In every state, too. I mean, in the US. I just looked up the US, but you can look up other countries, too. But, I mean, it's just so heartbreaking. People are kicking our community out of places. I mean, they're kicking them out just because they are different. I mean, in the video I just watched, I think we need more of, there is a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant that is hiring trans people because the owner is trans and she's making a point to hire other trans people and they are thriving in that fast food place. And the customers are, I mean, they don't care, you know? And if you like watching What Would You Do, there are so many where they do skits of situations with gays or our community. I mean, and they're based on true stories too. Things actually happen. I mean, there was one that that the waitress was gay, and she was happily married. I mean, the actress was actually gay and happily married too, but like, um, and they posed this couple to where this a woman and a man, this couple, um, saw that she had a pride flag on her uniform, a clip on, and she once they said that she asked or they asked her and she explained that she was gay and things like that and happily married to a woman and they just refused to tip her. They were like, I'm not tipping you because you're gay and it's not right and I don't support it. I mean, it was not cool. And yeah, that was just a skit on What Would You Do, but it was based on a real scenario. I mean, they have a couple trans scenario skits and things like that that you guys can check out. But I can't imagine, there are people making scenes in the restaurant, in restaurants that if they see like a gay and gay couple or a lesbian couple or a trans woman, a trans guy eating or whatever. I mean, there are people that actually make scenes in restaurants because they don't agree with us when it's really none of their business. But people like to make things their business when it's not. When it absolutely has nothing to do with them. We're not hurting them. All we want is for people just treat us normal, you know? I mean, people mm, it's just annoying, you know? And there's so many different circumstances happening, you know? Like another example is there are actual bakeries, bakers that are turning away gays and lesbians. Like, for instance, like, I'm just gonna pose a scenario here. Hypothetically, I mean, I'm single, but hypothetically, if I was getting ready to get married and my fiance and I went to the bakery, a random bakery, everyday bakery, and showed them the cake we wanted. And of course, we wanted 2 women on top of the cake. I mean, there are bakers or owners that will say, I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. I'm not going to make the cake for you. They turn them away. Or the Christian establishment. You know, there's so many. And it's just not, I mean, I just don't understand, you know? I mean, we're not doing anything wrong. None of our community is doing anything wrong. I mean, it is so hard for our community to walk down the street holding hands with our partners. I mean, I mean, yeah, nobody wants you to like see you kissing on the street or whatever. I mean, whether you're straight, lesbian, gay, whatever, you know. But I mean, it is just. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard for us to do something that simple in a restaurant or any public place or something like just holding hands. Like I said, walking down the street, or just sitting in a movie theater with your arm around the other person. It's so easy for straight people because nobody looks at them weird. Nobody looks at them like it isn't right. Nobody looks at them like, ew, gross. I don't want to see that. Yeah, it's better these days than it used to be, but it's still not great. Still not. We're still fighting for our community, still fighting to be the true people we are. Still. I mean, I grew up in a generation that it's common, you know? You don't think anything of it, you know? It's normal to, but older generations are the ones that didn't grow up with it or around the LGBTQ community. Those are the ones that kind of look at us in disgust. That put all the negativity on us. That say all the negative things. That say all the Christian things. I mean, I heard this story in one of my church groups. That is absolutely bogus, in my opinion. But this story that about this woman that used to be an activist for lesbians and the LGBTQ community, and she got her life back on track. She went to like I don't know, a church or a program of some type and everything. And now she's supposedly straight and married to a guy with kids. So she became straight, basically, which I think is stupid. You can't just turn it on and off like that. You're either straight, gay, bi. I mean, in my opinion, can't become straight. There are so many like conversion camps and stuff to, like, convert you back to straight or whatever, or straight if you never were. I mean, there are parents putting their kids in these conversion camps or these programs thinking that it's a phase, basically, that my child can't be this way. I have to turn them straight so people won't look at them in disbelief, so they won't look at them weird, so they won't look at our family weird. so we don't get negative things said about us. So people don't stop being our friend because of our kid being gay. Our kid can't be gay. They can't be part of the LGBTQ community. It's just not possible. I'm not letting that happen. Well, look, would you rather your kid be their authentic self, be their real self, be happy, or would you rather them be miserable and just follow along with what you're telling them to do? There are so many suicides in our community. So many suicidal teens, so many suicidal young adults. Oh, I mean, you know, kids. And half the time it's because they're not accepted. Because they're scared. I mean, physically, like me personally, after I came out, there was, for a short time, that I got back with one of my ex-boyfriends. Because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. It was completely out of fear. Then I broke it off and told him why we couldn't be together. I mean, he asked me to be his girlfriend again, and I told him yes. And I think it was out of fear because of my family and people I knew and people I'm close with. I was so scared that if I would end up getting a girlfriend or if I be my actually be who I am, be a lesbian in a town that is not accepted, that I was gonna lose a lot of people. I mean, yeah, I'm still scared, but I mean, on Facebook, I hide my sexual status because I'm scared of what people will think. But I mean, I did get the courage. But a lesbian quote as my profile picture on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Which I don't follow up people I know on Twitter. Um, there are some people I go to church with on Instagram, but I'm to the point that I don't even give a fuck. I just don't. I don't care. They can unfollow me if they want. I know nobody that goes to church with the gays with it. My mom was like, "Mm, nobody at that church will agree with it, but they're not gonna stop talking to you and things like that." I really only continued going to that church so my mom doesn't have to go by herself. But, like, I mean, I still read my Bible. I still read the Bible. I still pray. I still do everything, you know? I still like people at church and things like that. I mean, there's so many people that don't agree with schools being able to have gay and lesbian flags or don't agree with them hiring teachers or faculty or staff of our community because somehow they influence them. And that's one thing I'm absolutely scared about. I mean, they can't just not hire us. That's illegal. But, I mean, I'm going to college for early childhood right now. And, it, I mean, it's kind of nerve wracking because it might hire me and everything, but I'm kind of nervous if, like, the parents figure out or whatever figure out that I'm lesbian, that they're just gonna, I don't know, bash me. Or they're gonna come up to me and say that I'm gonna influence their kids somehow. I'm just gonna say that you can't influence people to be gay. I mean, they say that. I mean, there's so many people that think that gay and lesbian couples or trans couples or whatever shouldn't have kids or shouldn't adopt kids because we somehow, I don't know, influence them. Those kids are going to turn out to be gay or lesbian because they have gay parents or lesbian parents, or they're going to turn out to be trans because the parents are trans. No, uh-uh. That is definitely not how it works. And anybody that thinks that is just totally, that's their opinion and they can think whatever they want, but yeah, they need to do more research. I mean, I just can't stress more any more than I am in all my videos. Of course, I repeat some things, but I can't stress that even if you don't have a gay, a lesbian, a trans, a bi, any part of our community in your family or friends of our community, I still advise that you do your research, that you learn more about our community. You might not think you have somebody that's part of our community. Might not think you know somebody that's part of our community. Well, newsflash there. Um, uh, they may not have come out yet. They may not have told you. They may not have had the guts to tell you yet. They may just be really good at hiding it because they don't know how to tell you. Because it's just not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. And that's all I gotta say. So, yeah. Alright. Hope you guys really listened to what I said in this video and focus on what I said in this video. And I hope I've given you a lot to think about. If you have questions or anything, just send me a message. Comment on my video. I'll do my best to answer them all. So, yeah.